What's going on, everyone? Welcome. This is the Warehouse Series, and finally I am going to show you a video what I'm talking about on filler cases. I talk about filler cases whenever I do my videos of me selecting in the warehouse, and it's from time to time I do mention filler cases. So I'm going to try to explain that the best I can today. Guys, all dry product today, that's where I'm at right now, is dry goods, but you can use filler cases in dairy produce as well. Other warehouses, I don't know. If you're getting all big cases, then maybe you don't have filler cases, but I'm going to give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. Guys, before we get to the video, if you want to do all this, subscribe, join Discord, link below, give me a thumbs up, and I appreciate the donations. I had a couple more donations last week, and it's much appreciated. So let's get on to what I'm talking about, guys. So right here, you see a bunch of different variety of cases. So if I'm throwing cans, all right, and I'm getting chunky soups, Progressos, I'm getting all your, basic, your little cans that are, that are bigger than these cases. Anytime throughout the order, and I usually only get in the can section, I usually only get about maybe 1 to 5 of these cases. If I get any of these skinny cases, any smaller cases, so if I'm throwing a bunch of bigger canned goods and I'm getting a bunch of mixed match stuff, well, you're going to have small holes. People will waste these items on a level layer when they don't need it. So they'll stick this in a section of their layer that easily could fit one of their other cases of cans. I hope that makes sense. So if I'm throwing, I just threw chunky soup, now I'm getting to the Progresso soup, and a Progresso will fit perfectly where I have this can in the level layer, then what's the point of putting it there? You're wasting that case. I save all these cases. I either throw them on the opposite pallet I'm not throwing and save them for later, or I stick them up middle front, because I always build the front of my pallet up higher and I come back, higher, come back. So the middle front of my pallet is usually the highest point of my pallet. So I will take these cases and I will tower them. I even teach my trainees whenever I was training. I tower them right up the front. If I put 4 of them up the front, I'm keeping them there. And what I do is when I need them, I take them and I fill in gaps with them. So every time, bends, I love the bends. I'm always, and I build according to this stuff too, because I'd say at least 70% of the orders, I'm getting a Ben's rice. Almost 100% of the orders, I'm getting one of these cans. All right, I'm either getting one or multiple of these cans. So I'm constantly taking notes. Am I that worried about filling in that hole? No, because I know I'm probably going to grab one of these and I'll be patient and I'm going to wait. So I use these as fillers to fill in my little gaps. Because like I said, when you're getting a bunch of variety of cans, you're going to have little sections that are not going to fit. Here's another, guys, they don't always have to be small, skinny cases. These are waters at our building. If I get 1 or 2 of these, I'm throwing them on my back pallet and I'm saving them for a filler case later. I'm going to show you a picture of my finished product where I do this, because I know that when I'm in the section of the warehouse where I get my Arizona teas and stuff and I point them inwards, I always got that one little skinny, middle of my pallet. Fresh Step, same thing. I build according to getting these. And we have variety of these Fresh Steps, all different types of brands. I know I'm going to get this stuff. And I know they're nice and slender and skinny. And I want to hug them in between 2 boxes anyhow, because they're a slick case. So I take mental notes, like when I'm building my stuff, oh, well, that will fit that. Even though it's coming up later on in the aisle, I know I'm going to have that section to put that there. Gain, when I'm in the laundry detergent part of the warehouse, I am constantly thinking, okay, hopefully probably about 70% of the time I'm going to get one of these skinnier cases and I could fill in a gap with that. So I'm never forcing cases in. I'm never compromising the block just to fill in a gap as I'm selecting. I'm waiting patiently for my case to come to fill in that gap. These Sunny D's, constantly using them, guys. Always using them for filler cases. So this one here, we got some glass jars. Now we're in the glass part of the warehouse. I call them filler cases because they are smaller than all the other cases in the aisle. So if you're throwing the regular size Prego that are probably double this, and then I get one of these and I have no gaps to fill, I'm putting it middle front. And then whenever the opportunity comes and, you start selecting and you get that little area that you just don't have a case, well, I'm going to take it from my middle front and stick it in my hole. So that's what I do. I just took this. This was a pallet that was sitting on the floor and it was waiting for someone to pick up. It's a mess, but you can see they put their Sunny D's in these small areas right here. Guys, you're on the back of your pallet. You could easily turn these cases facing towards the middle. I would have took these two Sunny D's and I would have stuck them right here. I would have put two stacked on top of each other. These are the type of holes I'm talking about. They could easily fit in the middle of this pallet, and they chose not to do so. They chose to put it back here, which all they had to do is just turn these cases facing in, and they would have had enough room to fill in this gap. This is just poor stacking. Guys, on my video that I put out on Monday or Tuesday or whatever the heck I was talking about, putting the cases like this in this part of the pallet, in the back of the pallet. This is the back of their pallet. Look how high this water is compared to this. I said, if you put a case this way and your inside is lower, you're asking for trouble. And that is the perfect example right there. They are asking for trouble right there because they're never going to level out, and you're just going to get this the whole way up, and then it's going to topple over. So these cases, one of something, point it into, say here, see how they got this case here? I would have took these two cases and they would have been facing that direction in the back of the pallet. Like I was saying, I wanted to point that out since that's there. Let's move on to the next thing. All right, so you saw my water and you saw those small cans. There they are, guys, right in the middle. There's my, every single time I get a 1 or 2 waters, I don't even care if I got a half a pallet of water. If I need to move my water up to this area right here, I will, because I know in this part of the warehouse, I put my cases inwards, and I know I get these big cases. I am always left with this skinny little gap in the middle, and those waters fit perfect. So that is my filler case. I throw it on the back pallet, save it for a later time, and I always use it. If I look hard and long enough and I get a bunch of these finished products, you're going to see my one water there every single time. And it's possible I have a water right behind this, filling in that gap the whole way down the middle of the pallet. All right, guys, here's another pallet right here, those little T's. All right, those little T's always go in the middle. I mean, there you have it, guys. There's another example of my filler case in the middle, and let's give you another example. So right here, I had Ben's rice that I put to the side, and I didn't need them, so I just filled in wherever with them. Sometimes I don't need my filler cases, but I like to have them there as an option. So this one here, I just threw them in, but always on the inside. I don't like my Ben's rice on the corners. So that is that. And I wanted to end with this, guys. So I hope this is making sense, but why did you notice that every single one of my filler cases are always in the middle of the pallet? They're always within this area, because my shaded areas on the pallet, I always leave for my bigger cases. And 90% of the time, those bigger cases are pointing inwards. So it's always giving me my cross and my upside down T that I talk about. And that is why you see all my filler cases right in the middle. So guys, if you have skinny cases throughout the order and you're getting big, and then you get a small skinny case, don't waste it on a layer that you could easily put a bigger case on. Put it to the side and save it for a later time. All right, guys, I hope that made sense. I wanted to make this a pretty quick one. I don't want to waste too much time on it. Guys, once again, I appreciate everybody for subscribing to the channel. I just passed 4,100 subscribers as the time of filming this video. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.